Loremasters Academy, so that's good. And like
I've started like making sure that my computer is on and that my like everything is set up and ready so that by the time that you're ready to bring Zoom up, everything's at least in place and ready to go.
let's go. Thank you. Like I'm just yeah, it's my perfectionist thing that just comes out. I mean, I just really like to do things well. And I think
I know that.
I know you do.
Well.
I know you do. That's why we get along so well. But I do think it's sometimes a vice. You know, I think I go overboard with it, and I want so badly to make everything just right that it removes some of the charm. But so I'm trying to like mitigate that a bit.
Yeah, that was one of the things early on in theater when I was prop building that I had to learn really quick because I had a deadline, and even though I wanted to make things very perfect every time, I had to accept that sometimes it had to be done.
That's it. You have to roll. Hey, Lord Forth, always great to see you, my friend. Hope you're loving that dice tray, by the way. Have you had some as a DM? Great TPKs with that tray, or as a player, hopefully some massive crits. Hey, Captain Mymorph. Oh, it's so good to see you guys. I was just lamenting a bit here with our amazing Evelyn. It's going to be my least prepared Academy I've ever done. Work has been kicking my butt. I ran down here. Hastened breath barely with me as I ran down the stairs, and I'm going to need to lean on my viewers and fans and Evelyn tonight. Need your help, guys, for sure. I'm glad you're liking that tray, Lord Forth. It was actually I had a good conversation today.
Here we go.
I had a good conversation today with John Bruce. He runs Dragon Crafting Guild, which you should see that popping up on the screen now as our sponsor. And he's got some new products he's working on. So he's going to probably be sending me some new things, new giveaways, stuff besides just dice trays. And I think you guys are going to really, really like it. So look to see more good stuff from sponsors. I'm working on a dice sponsor. I've got a couple of companies I've been talking to, and a couple of them being a bit recalcitrant, and I don't think they know what they're missing out on, because we're growing like crazy, but I'm sure they got lots of inquiries. So
hi, I am your resident dice goblin. Give me all the shiny click clacks.
Oh, use your crystal dice. I hope they. So actually, hey, Pat66, Sperry. Oh, so good to see you guys. All of our friends joining in. It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fly by the seat of your pants night. But I'm so glad to see you guys on. I had a quick question. So Lord Forth, you've got a dice tray from us. I don't know who else. Hang on, got another work text here. Hang on. All right, good. So I got a good communication from John Bruce, who runs Dragon Crafting Guild, who makes these dice trays, and he asked me the strangest question. Well, he's not strange, but I understand the question. He was asking if the Dragon's Eyes or the D20s, depending on which one you have, because we've got two types. There's one with Dragon's Eyes, one's with D20s, were interfering with dice rolls, and
I haven't noticed anything.
I've
being
never.
a problem.
Yeah, thank you, Evelyn. I've never felt that way. Like, to me, it's a nice thing that sort of creates the increased randomness, because it'll bump the die and kick it to the side of the tray.
Well, I tend to roll around it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I do it at an angle. So, yeah, Pat has one. I think we signed Pat's, actually.
We did. We gave him a nice signed one. So so Pat, Lord Forth, have either one of you felt like the Dragon's Eye or the D20 in the middle of the tray was a detraction from the die roll? Or I don't think I've ever felt that way.
No. Okay. Awesome. Well, that's kind of
too scared to use them. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give him that feedback. I mean, that was my initial response. He sent me that message today, and I wanted to talk to our various viewers before I gave any response, but it sounds like we're all feeling these trays are awesome, and I can't wait to see his new products. So we're going to get some more trays and new products, other things. By the way, today I got a new we got blue box hats we're doing.
Wow.
We got other new giveaways, and I love doing this for our fans. Like I said, I don't want to merchandise them. I don't ever see us, or at least not in the foreseeable future, opening up a store to sell merch. That's not what I want to do. I want to just be a reward to the fans and the people that participate with us. Smoothness of the construction. So tell me about that, Pat. And I think I'm looking at my tray here. Are you referring to the joints and seams, the outside? Thank you, Lord Forth. I appreciate that so much. Or are you referring to the actual inside of the tray itself, where the gloss is done? What do you think can be improved in the construction and smoothness of the construction? I know John would love that feedback. He will take that quite well.
Yes. So everything?
Everything? Man, I had so much fun last night while I'm waiting for those. So the joints and seams need to be smoothed out a little bit more. That's fantastic feedback. Okay, so I'm not seeing that. Did you get it? Oh, actually, you know what?
It's a little bit in some places.
You're talking, now I think I've never noticed this before, but I think I see what you're saying. So it's on the sort of the horizontal seam. So not where each of the hexagonal elements are joined together, but the split between the top and the bottom. The seam is a bit, yes, that part right there, that's a bit rough. No, I think you're right. Okay, good. No, enjoy your dinner, Pat. Don't want to disrupt that, but I think that's great feedback. I'll give that to John. He's a fantastic craftsman. He's always getting better.
Yeah, he really is.
So that's good. All right, so I just want to say before we get started, we got about 1 minute and 35 left. I spared everyone my Greyhawk Awakening video. I just like to show that all the time when we're getting pre-ready, but I think people are getting tired of it, so I'm going to keep it. And I'm actually going to modify it here in the next couple of weeks, Evelyn. I want to include player intros. So each of your portraits kind of zoom up, and then your names, and so it looks sort of like a TV show. I think that'll be a nice overlay for the video.
I like that. Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. So the other thing is, I just want to say thank you. And I told you this today. I'm just so excited about the growth of our channel. The way that we have seen increase in followers, our subs are through the roof, our Discord participation. That Discord channel.
Speaking of which, I'm going to share that right now.
Yeah, go ahead and share it
with our lovely people that are here.
Please
Discord. It's awesome. Come join.
What creature was that in the woods? Okay, so here's a reward for our early entrance into our Loremasters Academy tonight. So did anyone? Because that's not custom artwork. The picture I showed, I Googled something. Which would give it away, so I'm not going to tell you what I Googled. But I Googled that picture. Can anyone guess what? And Evelyn, hold your time. I'm sure you probably already figured this out. Let's see if anybody else besides Evelyn knows what that picture was from, and that will give you a hint into a custom monster or creature that I've created for Greyhawk Awakening. And we got to go live here on our view because we're over time. Yep. Like to be on time. Boom. All right, we're live.
Hi, guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Loremasters Academy, session number 9. Wait, 9? There we go. I got it. 9. This is going to be a fun session on campaign management, DM tools and tips. And I've already told everybody on the stream early, I'm leaning on our viewers and on Evelyn tonight. I've got ideas and I'll definitely contribute, but I had a work schedule that just kicked my butt the last couple of days. I normally like to have tons of prep, tons of, I value my viewers. So when you come in, if you give me an hour of your time, I want you to feel like you're getting content that was well thought through, well prepared. So tonight, I think you're still going to get that. But I'm going to need some help from you guys tonight for sure. So a skinwalker, that's a great guess, Captain Mymorph. Hey, Retro, good to see you, sir. In between, yes, thank you so much. You've been more active lately in our chat. It's great to see you in between. I noticed you followed us, I think, last night. Great to have you. So my question is, okay, so doppelganger is sort of it's a great guess. and you would guess that based on the fact that it changed forms. It tricked the party, which we talked about. We had a little bit of an after chat last night, and I think, Evelyn, what do you think about making that after chat, part of our stream, particularly on our every other week? So I think the players, or the viewers,
that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we might do that because I think it was really fun, and I felt bad afterwards that we didn't give the viewers the opportunity to participate in that because I think they would really like it. But okay, so let me pull this up, and we're still looking for guesses on the creature. It's not a traditional doppelganger, although that is, I understand why you guessed that because he looked like Federum, the keeper of the Hamlet Trade and Supply Company. Hey, Bloodwild, good to see you, sir. Hey, by the way, everybody's minis and shirts and stuff that have been the winners, they all went out today. Sorry, I was a couple of days behind on that. Irish Jedi, a bit too loud. How is everyone? Okay, so I'm wondering about that. Is anyone else feeling like we're too loud? I think mainly my voice might be too loud, and I'd love to get that feedback.
A beholder, it's always a beholder.
Hey,
hello.
David! Oh my gosh, good to see you, sir. Thank you so much for popping in. Hopefully your sound fine to me.
Yeah.
I dropped my mic volume just a bit here on my side because I know how my voice carries. And what I've noticed when I'm rewatching the stream is that it's tough to normalize between the players and me. Like my voice just sounds, even on the local game, it carries, whatever. So it's all right. So I try to adjust that. Yeah. Evelyn does tend to be a bit quieter.
I'm a little soft-spoken at times.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm making some adjustments. That's great feedback. All right, so back to the creature. So it was like a doppelganger in that it looked like Federum, but then let me bring it back up here on the screen and zoom in. This is more than just a doppelganger, and I ganked this. I should probably I'll pull up the creds here in a second. This is not custom blue box imagery, but I love this thing so frickin' much when I saw it. So I'm gonna give you another 30 seconds because I'm letting everybody jump on the view. So, hey Renan, good to see our friend Renan Asunciao. Renan is the incredible 3D sculptor out of Spain who does a lot of our sculpts, and we're gonna have custom Greyhawk sculpts. We're actually going to do something, if we can, for the Virtual Greyhawk Con coming up in October that is going to be from Renan Asunciao, custom for Greyhawk. So he's a fantastic sculptor. D&D player AAA, good to see you, sir. Everybody. All right, so nobody has a guess. It's an alien. All right, so I like visual aids here. So Evelyn, I'm going to grab a book off the shelf. Entertain our fans for 30 seconds, please.
Okay, so let's see. How's everyone doing this evening? You guys good? I'm still reeling from our encounter with this creature yesterday night. I did not quite expect that to be thrown at us.
Bodak is a good guess. Hey Tim, good to see the ever mysterious Tim in. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, David, very much. All right, so has anybody... I grabbed just a random one of the books. This is the third book. This is The Dragon Reborn. Have any of you read Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time? Changeling, that's a great guess. Exactly. So you're on the right track. So what I have created here... Shh, don't tell my players. All right? This is... This is a custom... creation that is a mix of the changeling or doppelganger with the Myrdal. The Myrdal, or the gray, not the gray men, the Myrdal, they had another nickname, I'm forgetting it right now. I've only read the book all the books three times. But if you have not,
does.
Exactly, it does look like that. So if you've not read these are great books. They are thick. This is one book of 13. Finished by the amazing Brandon Sanderson after Robert Jordan died. And so what you have here with this creature, which was referenced in the letter that they found, the Paleling, is sort of an amorphous blend of the Myrdal of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series with traditional changelings or doppelgangers. And that's not giving too much away because they don't know what this thing can fully do, but that's a great hint and a little treat for our fans tonight. All right, you see Planescape. Oh, I love Planescape. So much cool stuff. All right, that's scaring me just having that up there on the screen. I need to get rid of that. That is one of the creepiest images. Let me scroll down because I grabbed it off Google and I should give credit where credit is due. So this is Seamasket Sketches off blogspot.com. This is not one of our custom images. Fades, that's it, Fades. I was trying to think of it. Thank you so much, Pat66, or Bloodwild rather. I knew I had that at the tip of my tongue. All right, so let's talk about the topic of the evening, which is campaign management. So,
yes,
we have, as you've seen, we use a lot of tools here at Blue Box, and we have the various PC-based stuff. We have all of the tech stuff, which we talked about in previous weeks. But I use a couple things primarily. I use Trello, and I'm going to show you a little bit more. I showed you Trello briefly a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to dive in more deeply in terms of how I use it for campaign management. But we're going to talk also about World Anvil. World Anvil is a great tool for world building and also campaign management. And then also, if you've ever seen Lone Wolf's Realmworks, that's a fantastic tool. But we're going to talk about each of those tools tonight, and then I really want to get content from our viewers and from our amazing Evelyn. So we're going to dive.
I brought my fun stuff too.
I know you did. So I'm going to actually let you start us off tonight.
All right.
But if you plan on reading, I would suggest not asking me about it. Yeah, Wheel of Time. Oh, really? Exactly. By the way, this is not a book review here, but Sanderson, he's different than Jordan. Jordan, amazing storyteller. The depth of the world, the reality of the characters is fantastic. He could be a bit wordy. The common joke is he could take 2 pages describing the intricacies of the doily sitting on the table. But
so if you've read Faulkner or Steinbeck, you can handle Jordan.
Boom, exactly. But still fantastic. And then Sanderson took it over when Robert Jordan died of amyloidosis. I think I got it right, something like that. A horrible disease. And Sanderson finished the series off. And that got me turned on to his other work. And I read The Mistborn. I read all of the stuff he's done with Stormlight Archive. Man, the Stormlight Archive, one of the greatest series I've read. I love it. So this was not meant to be a commercial for Sanderson, and if you've watched any of the Loremasters, I do tend to rabbit trail, but yeah, fantastic. Go ahead, Evelyn.
All right, so as far as campaign building, I'm kind of in the middle of, and our lovely DM here knows this, but I'm in the middle of actually world building myself, and working on constructing something for my very own campaign eventually. And I am a person who, from DM to DM, it kind of depends on your preferences, but I am the sort of person that prefers to work both electronically and have physical copies of things. I like writing things down. I just don't like writing things down that I have to erase and then rewrite again over and over again. So I prefer digital character sheets, but for world building, I like a combination of both. And campaign building, I like a combination of both. So right now with my actual world building, I'm currently I'm outlining stuff in my notes app on my tablet. It's kind of a good way to just easily make a good just outline of various things. I'm breaking down the history of my world and all this stuff. And this is actually eventually going to end up in World Anvil once I have it kind of fleshed out a little more.
Sure.
But that is kind of where I'm starting from, just to get ideas down on paper. And the nice thing about this too is I can even write things on here directly to take, just kind of scribble out things that sounds interesting without having to keep it all in a bunch of separate different places. So I like that for just initially outlining stuff. Now, when it comes to actually constructing, there's a lot of really great, just if you like to have apps, there's a lot of different game master type apps. I can't really see it, but there's, if I can get it to go clear, but there's various ones. Hello. Can we focus?
Yeah, the focus
No?
on these cameras is always funky.
It's so bad. But yeah, so like there's different ones, like various Game Master ones for each of the editions. There's one that's made for Pathfinder, specifically 1.0. There's also ones for 3.5, for 5e, and so on and so forth. So you can basically find what you want as far as like apps to do that sort of thing. But if you are a person who likes to do that sort of thing paper bound, like I do, I got this guy right here.
Very
from
nice.
a company called The Rook and the Raven. And they make these really great... They make journals for, like, player notes, but they also make these really great, like, campaign binder things. And it has everything you kind of need for doing stuff. You can write down all your player information if it'll actually focus. Like you can put their names and their character names in there. You can outline your like locales and all of the identifiers for those things. You can grid out dungeons in here. You can, let's see, and then you can do like your encounters all in that sort of thing. You can write down like what they're encountering and all the stats and stuff like that. And I actually got the yes, it is refillable, and you can order more pages. I actually specifically got mine Pathfinder because that's what I'm going to be running my campaign in. So it's actually statted out, and all of the boxes and everything is specifically aligned to what you would need for Pathfinder.
Pathfinder
like
1E, basically like
3.5
mm-hmm. with the
okay. 3.5. Yep, so it's entirely built specifically for that. I do have a 5e app. The one that I like, because it's the one that I actually have played with a little bit. It's made by Lion's Den, and you can find it on the App Store, and it's just called Game Master 5 or Game Master 5e. I can't remember which one, but if you look up Lion's Den, you can find it on there.
No, that's fantastic and really cool stuff there. Thank you for that, and I appreciate you answering the questions. It was funny. One of the questions that just came through about 5e. I didn't even have this up. I'm not a big 5e player, but I do have a 5e sort of one-shot that keeps repeating one-shot campaign that I play in with Rory from 2DMs, and yeah, D&D Beyond is fantastic. I have a D&D Beyond account, and it's really specific to 5e, so I don't use it for my Greyhawk Awakening. I don't use it for my Sunday campaigns, which are 3.5. All my campaigns are really 3.5, 1e, 2e based.
See, these are the refills. So they come in these little packs, and it's like $5 per like little extra set of pages that you need for them. So if you like this sort of thing, they can send you all of the various little packets.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. So again, if you're interested in 5e and you want to play 5e campaigns, D&D Beyond is such a great tool. I wish they would make that for 1e, 2e, and for 3.5. I doubt that's going to happen, but we get the closest we can. But it's got all the source books. You can create your characters. You can build out your campaigns, your encounters. They're constantly improving the betas. If there were one thing that could actually pull me to play 5e, which there isn't, but if there were, it would be this site. This is absolutely fantastic.
They just actually created their player app for D&D Beyond. So now you can, you don't have to be on the webpage to have all of your player stats and
that's
stuff. That's right.
You can put it on your phone. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's really nice.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And yeah, so Satcher Scorn, all this miniature building authority stuff, and they're not sponsoring me yet, so I probably shouldn't say their name too much, but I'll give them that one. Fantastic. And I've got some other stuff, Nerdcraft HQ, and of course a lot of Dwarven Forge, and then just miscellaneous stuff, WizKids. I'm constantly growing the terrain. But yeah, so all right. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Evelyn. One of the tools that I use, you heard her mention, is World Anvil. And this is my account for World Anvil that I've got. Originally, I had Riven Realm in mind to build a completely unique homebrew world. As I've gotten more involved in the Greyhawk community, reconnected with the Greyhawk community of my youth, I am going to actually make this world a continent on the opposite side of Orth from the Oracle for the NES. So this will be a part of Greyhawk when this is ready in 2021. And this is a fantastic tool. If you haven't used it, I highly recommend it. You have the ability to build out all your articles. You can create everything from characters to different settlements, NPCs, and you can edit and move them around. You have the ability to invite others to look at them and view them. You can just do so. This is the Arbiter, one of my principal villains upcoming for this campaign world or part. And so you build all this out, and it's just a fantastic way to be able to create a world. And you can start slowly, add bit by bit as you go. You can invite others, you can share, you can publish or hold back. You can have your gaming maps. So if you come down here under images and files, you'll see I've got my different images, all my custom, some of my sculpts from the amazing Ranana Sunseo, who is, I think, still on. And then also the updates as the world has evolved. So I'm using here Campaign Cartographer 3, which when you're talking about world building, if you want maps for your campaign, Incarnate is a great one. I use Incarnate, INKARNATE, Incarnate. But then also for really detailed maps, this World Anvil stuff with Campaign Cartographer works fantastic. So you're seeing the continent here of Ilumrad, which is the Light of Men, which will someday appearing in a Greyhawk stream near you. All right, so yeah, Trollord Games, thank you for bringing that back up. So TLG, they've got a world built out here, and I actually had MJ Moondog told me about this, I think, first. And they've got their entire world being built out in World Anvil. It's viewable, it's fantastic. So pop in there. If any of you want to be invited to see this, I'm really putting it on hold for 2020 because I'm so focused on Greyhawk Awakening and growing what we're doing now. But I'm happy to invite you into our World Anvil as I'm building out this new continent for Greyhawk for 2021. I'm going to pause there. Evelyn, anything you want to add?
No, I was kind of following along with the chat. Yeah, World Anvil is a lot, and it can be a little overwhelming, I think, if you're first getting started, which is the reason why I actually went to my notes pad to kind of start outlining stuff before trying to even tackle that, because it was just a lot of information all at once, and I find it easier to process that a little bit at a time. So the other thing, though, the nice thing about World Anvil is they have their own Discord, and they do various world build. They have channels specifically dedicated to world building in there, where people like bounce ideas off of each other and stuff. So that is something that they offer as part of their the tools that they provide with the website itself. They also provide that support so that other people can kind of flesh out their ideas and see how that works out for them. So that's really cool. Yes, it is a super helpful community.
It really is. Yep, exactly. Thank you, Phantom. All right, so I'm going to try to pop this yet another Discord server.
Yes.
You can't get lost. I know. I feel sometimes overwhelmed. That doesn't look right. The link I just grabbed didn't look like my world. So I'll figure out if I can get that pop in the chat in a bit. So let's move to some of the simpler things and some of the stuff that I use. Oh, great. Alternate Earth from Fandom MJ. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, drop anything in that chat you want to. So I mentioned before, one of the things I use for campaign building, and look, let me back up a second. What's the goal? The goal is to tell great stories, to create interactive stories with your players, not pre-scripted stories, not on rails, but things where you as a DM have sketchboard concepts, the kinds of things you've seen Evelyn puts in her notepad. Then you work with your players to flesh the story out and then take it in new directions, which is one of the things that any DM that I've ever met worth their salt loves. You want to have your ideas and your plan, and then watch as the players take that bit in your mouth and yank it in a completely different direction that you never expected. And that's the collaborative storytelling. It's not the pre-scripted storytelling. So all of these tools, whether it's World Anvil, whether it's your notepad, I'm going to talk about Trello, I'm going to talk about Realmsmith in a second as well. These tools are all really designed to help you tell stories. So each of you as DMs or as aspiring DMs or world builders, your goal needs to be figuring out what you want to do and what kind of stories you want to tell and what works for you. And I'm going to give you examples, hopefully no one's going to get mad at me, why I don't use certain tools like Realmsmith, and why I do use other tools like this guy, the Trello app, World Anvil, or my trusty graph paper. Why I think all these things are fantastic to use. Because if it's not something that's easy, quick, accessible to me, if it's another burden, if it's another thing that slows me down, I don't want that as a DM. I don't want to be overly scripted, overly burdened. All right, so
about campaign 1, several of the episodes are missing from campaign 1. So if you're wanting to see kind of what happened before what's on the channel, I would recommend there's a video that I did of a summary of the where how have we been. So check that out, and then all of the other ones, if you just go by the date of upload on the channel, as far as the campaign 1 sessions are, they are in the correct order for that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Thank you so much. So just go to our YouTube channel, Blue Box RPG on YouTube, and you'll find a summary. It's actually got Evelyn's face. It's right there. It's easy to find, and it's a Sandpoint summary. I think it says the first 21 episodes or something like that, and it's like a 13-minute video, and it catches you up on all the high points of that campaign. And then all the rest of the episodes, we've gotten much more disciplined here over the last 3 months or so with getting stuff up and being consistent with uploads. Evelyn taps me on the head when I don't get something uploaded. So
upload it.
So we're getting much better about that, and you can watch that sort of preview and then catch up with the rest of the episodes. And by the way, I'm happy to cover anything with that with you as well. We can do a summary at the end of a session or beginning of a session. All right, so let's talk about Trello. You're seeing something here that I have not shown on stream before, and I've actually left it up long enough that people can grab it and look at it, which I'm so careful. But the only reason I'm doing this is my Trello board for my 4th Age Lord of the Rings campaign. Thank you, Pat66. Appreciate you doing that. My 4th Age Lord of the Rings campaign is now in its 4th year, and it is probably in its penultimate episode. There might be another one after that, but we're in the last 2 to 3 of that, just depending on what the players do and how things go. So what you're seeing here are a lot of, that's why Cade lost his arm. The next episode started, they're discussing the clock tower bed. Yeah, so there might be, oh, you know what, he might be right. There might be a gap even in the ones after the summary, Evelyn.
Oh yeah, because I think it was one that got.
So wait, so Cade lost his arm after the clock tower, so I think they're out of order.
Yeah, clock tower happened.
Yeah, they're out of order.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, Sperry 14. So the clock tower actually happens before the arm. I think it was the YouTube uploads got sorted wrong, and I haven't figured out how to move those around because it uploads by date.
If you want to send me those creds, I can sort them all into playlists in the correct order for you.
Ooh, let's do that. All right, see, making things happen.
Send me the YouTube creds and I'll fix that.
All right, very good. So you've got. Again, it's not that I don't know how, it's that I've got too many things and I'm lazy sometimes, and I have the amazing Evelyn here who takes notes on every single element of a campaign, and she will doggedly pursue something down, wrestle it to the ground, and conquer it. So that's great. All right, so back to Trello. I love this app. It's a very simple app, and so what you're looking at here, some of these are my original notes. So like these PC stories threads that you see here, these were from the backgrounds of the player characters 4 years ago. So like here is Ant. Dan is the player for this character. I have a separate section where I have each of their actual backstories, but I linked some of the main things. So what I wanted to do with Ant's nemesis from his backstory, I created cards for these in Trello. And in Trello, you can move them around. I've got different monsters that I link where I found an image I liked. I could just drop it into Trello. So here is the image I liked for the mouth, which they actually encountered about, 6 months ago, I think, something like that. And the mouth of Sauron still lives in the 4th Age. He was not destroyed with the ring and with Sauron's destruction, and he plays a very interesting role in the 4th Age campaign. So the ability to drop these cards in, and you can move the cards around. These are screenshots. So what you're looking at here, these are actual screens of a very, very old Iron Crown Enterprises module on the Lost Palantirs. So this is a good sort of DM approach.
That's how you spell his name.
Oh, yeah. I say it whenever. So, yeah, Lord Corondor. So, if you look at each of my campaigns, I think it's a great way to look at it. If you look at the Rise of the Rune Lords, our Sunday campaigns, that is the most closely following pre-published materials. I'm using the Paizo Rise of the Rune Lords. I still customize everything, but I use their modules, and we're more or less following that. Just enough changes that the players, if they wanted to try to cheat and look at, they can't, but it's still following that story. So that's, campaign style 1, pre-scripted, pre-developed content. If you look at my Rune Lord, my 4th Age campaign, my Lord of the Rings campaign, that's a blend. I used a lot of this content from the Lost Palantir by Iron Crown Enterprises, but it's so heavily customized, it's almost unrecognizable, so it's just, it really followed something to the beginning, but I had ideas where I wanted to take the story, and I used that and then grew it from there using Trello boards, just to give me a place to kind of stick my ideas and thoughts. And you'll see I have got tons of these Trello boards here. Some of them were session specific. So if I look at, when the party was in the White City, I had notes for different things that I could, and then I take notes here. This is good for campaign management. If you can see this, let me zoom it in. Sorry, you're getting a lot of these squirrel moments from me tonight, but I note role play moments. So this was several months ago, but Edalus had a funny comment, "You're not eating, that's a good sign." I don't even know what that was now, but months ago it meant something, and it was an important role play moment to me. Recognizing.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that now?
I remember that.
Edalus recognizing that the loss of the Palantir was critical. Brual say you're walking in the back. So Radagast did speak. So that was from Hallgrim. So I take role play notes in Trello as well, so that when I'm assigning experience points, my XP in my campaigns is not just combat. It's not the biggest monster you killed or who had the crit. That's part of it, but it's the role play. Other than just going, oh yeah, I thought they did a good job, or even just the stream MVP that we do at the end of our streams, how does a DM know, unless they're assigning XP right after their session, which if you're that way, you're fantastic. I'm not that way. I'm late. I'm coming back to it typically a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. I'm aggregating. So I take notes. Sometimes the notes are here in Trello. Sometimes the notes are here in the aforementioned. Fantastic. I've got this graph paper has page after page after page after page of notes and stats and things. I've had this for a couple of years, but find a way that you can record those moments. And then when I assign XP, and Evelyn, you can attest to this, it's not you get this many XP.
No, it's
what
XP plus descriptions of what we did well.
Exactly.
That contributed to that XP. So.
Yeah, and I never mean this to sound like, oh, look at how amazing what I do is, you guys don't do this. I'm sure many of you do the same thing. But just on the tips, what I do when I assign XP, I'll message the player and I'll say, hey, for this major accomplishment of the party, for this major foe conquered, but then also for this moment of role play and this cool action and this moment of role play, you get this many experience points. So I'm creating a positive reinforcement cycle for the player on good role play, engagement in the campaign, and then you have to have a way that you can track that. So I don't care whether it is a Trello or a Realmsmith or just a piece of paper or your notepad on your iPad. Find a way to track the threads of your story and the accomplishments of your players, especially to me, especially role play, because that's what we're all here to do. I don't want those funny moments, those great empathic connections that they make, those fantastic voice acting moments that the players have, if that's your campaign, or they figured out the puzzle, they solved the problem, they guessed the riddle, they realized the bad guy was a bad guy before anybody else was. Record that stuff and reward them. Record and reward Ooh, I like that. Record and reward in your XP bonus stuff, and find a way to track that. All right, I'll shut up and let you respond. I haven't even looked at chat yet, so I'll look in this.
I was following chat a little bit. It's interesting the discussion of milestones versus XP. I know that the different DMs prefer different systems as far as that goes.
Boo milestones! Sorry, I never like to offend, but I'm going to offend. Boo milestones! Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, milestones. If that's your thing, you know, rock on. But I'm definitely more inclined to go XP wise, because with milestones, everybody's leveling at exactly the same time, and.
Moondog gave me a boo XP. That's fine. You can talk back to me here. This is not a. Yeah.
Practically speaking, in my mind, it feels more to me that, you know, your heroes are not going to necessarily evolve at the same rate. You know, they're not going to become, you know, equally amazing at the same time. You know, you have to work at it to become a hero. So I don't know. I'm much more of a XP person than a.
That's why you're my assistant mod and part of it. No. I said, look, Moondog. Look, everybody do what you love. That's ultimately what players and DMs need to do, is what they love. Why I don't like milestones is exactly what she said. And yeah, I think Sperry's right. Our next T-shirt's going to be record and reward. But I don't want people. So, in a sense, I do record milestones because, for example, if there is a big bad evil guy, or if there is some important milestone in the campaign that the party achieves, I'm going to assign a lump sum of XP bonus to all the players. Right. So, as an example, conquering the Red Lords in our campaign last night and getting out of the old moat house in Greyhawk, just outside of Hamlet, there's going to be a lump of experience points that will be assigned to all the players. But I don't want them to all just level up at exactly the same time. So if you look at any of my campaigns, it won't typically be too big a disparity, but you could have a 5th level and a 6th level and a 7th level, based on how they've role played, their accomplishments. And again, for me, it's role play. I overemphasize that because I think it is the heart of the game. And I will have players, if they're more invested in giving, which is like with Greyhawk Awakening, I don't know how to do that. Like, they're all great, right? But I will absolutely reward role players and give them more XP. And what I don't like about milestones, at least in the way I've seen them implemented, maybe you guys mean something differently, is that I don't want, okay, you're all 5th level. Okay, you're all 6th level. Okay, you're all 7th level. And now I'm not giving any individual reward to the players for how they're playing their characters. Evelyn, thoughts?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. So I have nothing to add on to that.
Okay, good. Just reading the comments here. MTMJ, I'm glad we disagree. There is plenty of room in this community for disagreement. I love that. You absolutely, sir. I know you're old school. Run it your way. I'm sure your players love it. I'm just kind of explaining how I run it, and I embrace anything the community does that gets people playing. I think those moments and milestones are important, but things like hero points are so transitory. They are, they can be gone in one gaming session. And so I like the sort of permanence of the role play benefits. Again, for me, I'm not trying to argue the point. And this is really a little bit off topic, kind of close, but a little bit off topic. And so I think that's fantastic. Rule 42, as a friend of mine likes to say, use what works for you. Yes, exactly. Well, no, and like side quests is a good point from Lord Forth. But I think you could work milestones into side quests. I'm sure that's what somebody who like MTMJ would do. So I don't think it necessarily kills side quests. But again, just for me, I like the idea that there can be a disparity in my player levels. That there can be a disparity in their levels of potency, or one of my favorite words, puissance, as they, based on what they do in game, and this sort of, well, I don't want to be overly politically charged, but socialist. Okay, boom, everybody's here. Boom, everybody's here. Boom, everybody's here. For me, That's never really been the way I want to run my games, but I fully embrace anybody that does things differently for what works for your players. Well, typically what works for you and your players is what we want, right? So
Yeah,
it's
because it's everybody playing the game. It's not just the DM and it's not just the players.
Exactly, and I think DMs will attract certain kinds of players. So if the players like that style, you're probably going to attract those players. I've had people comment on the types of players that we have on our campaigns, and I would like to think that I'm attracting players that gravitate toward the style that I want to play. If you look, for example, our great friend, Jay Scott, Lord Gasumba, he's got a fantastic stream. He's been running campaigns for 40 years. The playstyles are similar. We're both running a lot of old school content, some of his stuff, a little bit more 1E bias, well, a lot more 1E bias, but still some. And then we both use mini setups and terrain, and he's inspired me. I got introduced to NBA from Jay. But if you look at it, his stuff is more tactical, just a bit more tactical, and more of sort of the mini, sort of almost chainmail-esque original roots of the game, whereas we have more theatrical voice acting and things in our campaign, and that works. So it's just what you like and what you play, you'll attract those players, and that's how you build out your campaign world. All right, so watching your players grow from wee little seeds into full-fledged. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You do some. Yeah, I've seen some good role play on that though, Satchscorn. You guys do. It's a different style, and I love it. I would be honored to play in one of Jay's campaigns at some point, and I would have a fantastic time. And I think he and I are very similar in so many ways. That's why we work together and collaborate, and I have nothing but respect for him. He's incredible. And I think he also likes what we're doing here, and we each have our own, slight flavor. So I don't even want to say it's like Pepsi and Dr. Pepper. It's more like Pepsi and Coke. They're similar, and people like them, but they're not that far apart. No, well, I'm probably going to make the chat go wild with that one. But yeah, MTMJ, I love watching the players grow from seedlings as well. That's what you should be doing. I love first level characters. I don't even mind 0 level characters, and it is a fun thing to watch them grow. Okay, so coming back here, Trello boards. You can drag these around. I've showed this previously so like here's session 7 of the Rune Lords, some ideas that I had. I put different backgrounds on this just because it helps me stay kind of connected and inspired with them. And then also I have even my stream board, which I showed a few weeks ago on the tech stuff, but all the different steps I go through on my pre-stream. And Trello is free, right? So you can sign up, you can create a Trello account, and you can move images, stories, thoughts, anything you want in Trello. All right, so I'm going to stop on that topic. Love Pepsi versus Coke. Great. All right. Okay, so let's go to another one. I talked about Lone Wolf. Has anybody on the stream used Realmworks from Lone Wolf? They also have Hero Lab. Hero Lab is for characters or players, and then Realmworks is for DMs. Anybody use this? In first edition, what would you do with a magic user at first level? He only had 1 spell. No, I that is my favorite, Captain Mimar. Like that's actually one of the things, even with 3.5, I don't like as much. I really like the D4 for hit points. 1 spell, weak as a kitten magic user, as a penance for what they're going to get if they actually reach higher levels. 3.5, they're still weak, but it's a D6, not a D4. Those 2 hit points can make a big difference. And then they get that extra spell based on intelligence modifiers and other things. So if there's an area I really like in 1E that I'm not using in my campaigns, that's a great example of one. You're probably the best DM I've ever seen. Oh, golly. Wow, thank you, Moondog. Holy smokes. I mean, coming from somebody like you, you're gonna make me cry. Thank you so much. I love it, and I'm having a great time, and if it's something that other people think is fun and encouraging, I love it. That, man, I'm verklempt. All right, so D4 1 spell is perfect. All right, so if you're a hardcore DM, Evelyn, have you ever looked at this?
I'm not.
I signed up for it.
Okay.
It is beastly. I think this is for your hardcore preppers. It's a SQL-based application, and if you know anything about SQL, that probably told you everything you need to know. It's highly customizable, highly flexible. You can build out everything in this application. You can put your maps in, you can put your stuff, and you can build links. If you're somebody that wants to spend, and here's how I'd put it. If you want to spend 15 hours of prep for 3 hours of gameplay, and you want to feel like you have command of everything, this is the app for you. So if we go on the continuum, right, your pendulum, if you will. Exactly, such scorn. I love the fails can be fun. That's why I love the fumble tables. You know, the celebrations, like when Millie had the incredible nat 20 confirmed crit, 00, which is a 100 on my Iron Crown Enterprises Middle-earth role-playing crit tables. Those moments are fantastic, but the moments where the players flub and fail, well, that created the name, the Wayward Bolt. Right? That's how the party became the Wayward Bolt. It was Uthar and his, crossbow bolt striking Lilith. So the fails are so much fun. So, yeah, the Nutcracker, yeah, Lilith is that. So, on your continuum, you have, I'd say, in my experience, and I would love to hear what other players are using. It was very funny. Other players, or DMs rather. But I have the graph paper. This is on the left side, the easiest, quickest, just jot your notes down. And I do a lot of this. I've got all kinds of notes in here, and I'll go back to stuff from a couple years ago in my campaigns, and how was I connecting that thread? And what did I think I was going to do with that NPC? And how can I tie that piece of the backstory together? So that's all in here. And then you follow the continuum through Trello, or let's say notes, iPad notes and things like that, like Evelyn showed. That's probably the next step on the continuum. Then Trello. Really simple and easy online. Then your World Anvil, highly complex, but still quite flexible and easy to work with. Don't be scared of World Anvil. It's an easy app to use. And then Realmworks. And I'm not trying to be, that probably sounds bad. I don't mean to be. It is a monster of an application. And if you like that, if you want to just spend tons of time building and developing in your prep, you will not find a better app than Realmworks from Lone Wolf. All right, so looking at the app, use Notepad and physical Notepad while the game is going. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, MTMJ. I am definitely old school. The gray in the hair shows it for sure. Yeah, exactly. I like that, Phantom. So you can move from the notes from the graph paper into something like World Anvil over time. And if you wanted the official, which I'm sure you're all waiting for, the official DM Neuromancer recommendation, it is graph paper, Trello for your quick ideas, and like what I like is images. So you guys know this. I use a lot of these images, as I showed earlier, with my, I'll bring it up. Did I close that out? No, I think I still have it. My wicked looking, that's the only one I have. But I use a lot of these pictures here. So here's my logo. That's kind of lame. But anyway, I use a lot of these pictures in my stream. I can drop those in Trello. So when I'm playing, I can have a place where all my notes, my thoughts, recording my role play, but then also pictures that I can launch. And maybe you don't have a stream set up. Maybe you're not working on slobs or XSplit like Jay and I do. Maybe you don't have a monitor separately in your room. But if you have an iPad or even a phone, you can use something like the notes that Evelyn's using or Trello and have those pictures up. Pop up the picture. This is what you see. And I still like describing it. I've talked about that, so I won't repeat that. So I don't think the DM should use these tools to replace theater of mind and descriptors.
That's why you describe first and then show the picture after.
Exactly, yes. Or I've even done it sometimes where I'll show the picture and then I'll kind of pull it down and describe it for the players. So I think but I do think describing first and then showing the picture so you paint it in their mind, either one of those. That's a great way to do it, Evelyn. Good point. All right, so We've talked about World Anvil. We've talked about Trello, Phantom NJ. You're going to go eventually to World Anvil. The Star Rune tattoos. Exactly, Sperry. Okay, a Rune Lords guy here. You're seeing it. You're seeing it all happen. Come together. That is the Sahedrin Rune that you're seeing in those stories. And Phantom uses a notepad and physical notepad. So if you look on my, you should hit him up. He is fantastic. World Troll Lord Games. If you don't know this, by the way, Troll Lord Games, they're the main sponsor for the upcoming virtual Greyhawk Con. And Castles and Crusades, everything that I'm hearing, it is really close to the old school sort of an amalgam of 1E, 2E, 3.5, which is what I play. And they're embracing a lot of the old content. They've got some IP or intellectual property that they're sitting on that we may see something on the next coming months. It's going to be great. And so I'm a huge fan of Troll Lord. We rated them last week or week before, I think. And they are really in the same vein as what a lot of us are. True OG role-playing. OG is not original gangster in this context. It is original geek. And so we're all original geeks, and we love Troll Lord Games and what they're doing here. All right, so yeah, it is really close to 1E, but with some modern mechanics. I think that's exactly right, Retro. All right, so I'm going to show just a couple more things here, and then we're going to get set to Raid J. And I want to do some Q&A with the fans because I know you guys are doing so many cool things, and as I said, I was less prepared tonight than I typically am. But I also want to say, I haven't picked up any followers tonight. That makes me sad. We're growing so fast. Okay, by the way, yeah, so humble brag. Blue Box is now in the top 50 fastest growing streams for D&D in the world.
Thanks to you guys.
Thanks to all of you. We are now in the top 50 in the world. And you say, what does that mean? On Twitch, there are, as of today, 6,116 D&D streams on Twitch. And we are in the top 50. If you look at the 7-day, I think we're like number 49. If you look at the 30-day, we're like number 45. So we have had incredible growth in our followers, just the viewership, the subs. I want to say, and I know we've got just a handful of all of our viewers on tonight, but we've got some of the stalwarts and some of the folks that have really helped us. Thank you. You guys are awesome. You saw me post it in the Discord. If you're on the Discord, if you're not, you should be.
Pat.
And what did Pat say? You want me to unfollow? Yeah. If that's what it takes, or go get your dog and create an account for your dog. No. We want legit stuff here, but yeah, we do have a Discord, Abyssal DM. We'll drop it in again. So I want to, with our Discord, I want to make it clear. So here's what our Discord is, and why you want to be part of it, and also what you should not look for in it. It is not Greyhawk Online. Greyhawk Online, Christoph, that group, they are untouchable as an online resource for Greyhawk. So you should definitely be part of Greyhawk Online if you like, or GHO, if you like this old school sort of Greyhawk roleplay stuff we do on Tuesday nights. What my Discord is an amalgam of the old school stuff, but it's really about the campaigns. So if you are watching our Rune Lords campaign on Sunday, if you're watching our Greyhawk Online, or Greyhawk Awakening, stream on Tuesday, you can stay part of the community. You can see the chat with the players. We actually have NPC stores that are run. Pat66 is Federum, the amazing keeper of the Hamlet Trade and Supply. And I want to get more of our viewers involved. I'd love to see one of the viewers be Brother Smith. And by the way, that's S-M-Y-T-H, not S-M-I-T-H. Brother Smith, who has run the blacksmith in Hamlet for over 4.5 decades now. He's a dwarf because it's not really specified in Gygaxis, so I made him a dwarf. It makes sense. So he is plenty young enough to be a 50-something-year-old smith, smithing for 50-something years in the Hamlet world. I'd love to have one of our viewers start NPCing in our Discord, Brother Smith, so that when players go and they want to upgrade or buy a sword or caltrops or a pauldron for their armor, that's what our Discord is. It's really an extension of our campaigns. Evelyn, you want to say something?
And if you are new here and you want to catch up on our Greyhawk Awakening streams, the entirety of our notes from our session 0 up to last Tuesday's session are currently on there under the session notes tab, so you can literally read every little last thing that we did without specific numbers, but everything that the campaign has gone through so far is on there as well. So and we do have a channel on there as well that I haven't touched in a little bit because I've been a little crazy busy, but just for fun
excuses,
RP,
no excuses.
That's just for RPing, just for the heck of it. We're playing some of our just the characters that we like to play in our own things when we play, and we're just kind of hanging out in a tavern that I am kind of quasi DMing, I guess, and that's just a way for everybody to be able to play as well. So if you guys want to come in, we have lots of chats, including debates about various things that are fun to
Today was
take part
insane.
in.
That Discord, I compared the I watched it just go out of control. I posted on my Discord channel, my open sort of general channel. It was like watching an 18-car pileup. It was totally out of control, but you couldn't take your eyes off of it. The guys are amazing, guys and gals. Krenzlin, the note-taking. Onderweball, good to see you, sir. It's been a minute, I think, since we've seen you. You get an error when you accept our Discord invite. Let's work on that. Yeah, no, so not the Sapphire Dragon.
Click it.
Sapphire Dragon, Pat, is more of it was a specific role play for anything, not involved necessarily with any of our campaigns. The Blue Box Tavern, I think, is what it's called. Evelyn,
it is the Blue Box Tavern.
That's and you're in there, Pat. You see it all the time. But yeah, that's kind of what we're doing in our Discord. It's a combination of the campaign-specific materials, some online role play, including our viewers, and then, of course, just general chat. But we're huge fans of Greyhawk Online, and we really continue to support them as a fantastic source for Discord materials on Greyhawk. Sure. All right, if you're on mobile, let's see if we can figure that out. So we're going to get ready to raid Jay. You don't need to leave this channel to see Jay. We raid Jay every Wednesday night, and he and I chat almost daily. And so that's going to be something that we'll run here in just a second. Before I close, any of our viewers, I'm just showing you here an article on Thorngate. This is one of the cities that you'll be seeing in my Greyhawk campaign in 2021 when we open up the new continent of Greyhawk specific to our world. So actually, Pat, I'm glad you brought that up. So the party reached town last night, and it was a little bit debatable where they were. But I did a post chat with the party, and it was close enough. They were met by Galen, and so we're actually going to put them in Hamlet for this week. So I'd like to reopen the Greyhawk, the Hamlet supply and trade, and let the players interact there. And I'd like to even open up one or two other things, like Brother Smith or other places in the town, to allow some online roleplay this week. And I think it would be really fun to see what people had to say to Federum after what happened on the road this week.
By the way, there's someone pretending to be you out there.
Yeah,
he should know about that.
He saw that. He kind of dropped like a WTF on me with that one. But he actually helped me guide. You saw the picture I used. I had a different picture for Federum, which was very close to the one I used. But Pat pointed out that he really saw Federum having mutton chops. And I thought, oh, you're exactly right. So that's actually what led to the use of this image, which I found online. I didn't really like sort of the uniform aspect of it here, but I thought, the broad nose, big mutton chops, that was very much inspired by Pat66. Oh, I'm so glad, Underweball, you got joined. So if any of you want to rejoin, go ahead. If any of you want to refollow, go ahead. But I've just really enjoyed the chat tonight, and I want to come back to any of the viewers before we raid Jay. Anybody have any final comments or thoughts on tools for campaign management? In summary, DM imagination. I keep a lot in my head. I referenced last night on our post chat that a lot of my ideas just come, I noodle on this stuff. In the shower, a lot of my ideas come in the shower for whatever reason. And I'll just either keep them filed up here or I'll jot them down. Now I'm running 4 different campaigns. 3 of them are streamed. One of them is not streamed. It's my sort of family campaign. And you can't keep everything in your head, especially when you get to be my age. I'm turning 50 next year. So it's a steel trap, but the steel's got a little bit of rust on it. So I definitely use a lot of the graph paper. Definitely recommend using your iPad. I've got an iPad I use down here almost every stream. Thank you so much for those tips, Evelyn. Use Trello. It's a free app, so easy to use, and you can capture images and screen clips and text and anything you want to capture there. Then when you're ready to graduate, go to World Anvil. Fantastic, not just for world building, but also for campaign management. Then Realmworks, fantastic tool. And as I said, D&D Beyond. If you're playing 5e and you're not using D&D Beyond, what are you doing? I mean, the only reason I'm not using that is because I'm not playing 5e, and I'm not going to play 5e. Curmudgeonly old guy slap his knee here. All right, so Phantom said, whatever works, that's right. That's the big thing. Don't be overwhelmed. There's times, one of the tools I mentioned tonight, I worked in it for a while, and I just felt like the dog was being wagged by the tail. You know, the tail was wagging. It was just so much effort. I'm like, God, this is not worth it.
And any DM knows this, but sometimes all the preparation in the world is not going to prepare you for what your players are gonna do. They may take you somewhere entirely unexpected, and you just gotta go with them.
Which, if you don't, you are not a real DM. You have to let your players do that. And Krenzelin, will I be announcing my run for president like Kanye? You know what? Stranger things have happened. I think I can do okay at that. We'll see. No, I'm not even at 1,000 Twitch followers yet. How am I going to run for president? But we'll see. So, all right. Yeah, watch all the videos. Bloodwile. Thank you so much, Phantom. Underwell, glad you got in. Again, my thank you to all of you, to the community. I'm going to go ahead and raid Jay now, and I'll let you watch me do this if you've never done this on Twitch. Hang on here. I'll have my Twitch channel up on this particular screen. Let me bring it up. That should get us there. So on here, if you're using Twitch, you go to your creator dashboard, and on your creator dashboard, this is where I set up the stream info. This is where I see all the folks that followed and gave bits and all the cool things they did. And then you go to raid a channel, and you look who's available, and look right there. So there's Jay. He's got 17, and we're going to bring him 21 more tonight. And you can see the raid countdown. And as we do so, again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Follow our Discord. Be with us on Sunday. Our Rune Lords campaign will be back at 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern. 7:30 GMT, because we have a lot of UK and Scotland fans and folks that are from all parts of the world. Be with us on Sunday if you can, and then we'll see you right back here again for Greyhawk Awakening on Tuesday night. Thank you to everybody for joining us. This is Blue Box signing out. Much love to everybody. May life give you all nat 20s this week.
Bye, guys. Woohoo!